Hello, hello. Alright, so I am MrWalrus and this is gonna be Bioshock. Select new game, start with easy, just cause easy is faster obviously. Liikkeestä lähtee sitten vähän myöhemmin. Sanon sit. Alright, so first up we have a bit of a cutscene, and this game is pretty famous for pretty good cutscenes, and overall the story and atmosphere of the game is top notch.
You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Ei kun nousee veden pinnalle kohta. Mä sanon sit. Right, so timing starts as we gain control, and that'll happen after this little bit of rising up from the water cutscene here. Time starts now. Alright, so in the beginning we can't really do that much about the game. We're just gonna go through these flames because you don't actually have to take the safer path there. The damage really doesn't do anything to you. And we're just gonna head to this mysterious looking lighthouse because, hey, why not? And yeah, the start is kind of cutscene to me. One of the reasons why I don't run this game that much, but the tricks in the later parts of the game are pretty interesting and cool. So it is a pretty nice run to show at a marathon like this. So the very first tiny skip is coming up, and I'm gonna jump backwards as I'm hitting this lever here. And that'll let me actually stay outside of the bathysphere here, and it'll save like 2 or 3 seconds right at the end of this cutscene. I'll just hit a loading trigger a little bit faster. And yeah, after all of this opening crap is done, we don't have that many cutscenes anymore.
Not entitled to the sweat of his brow.
And this opening is pretty legendary. One of the better openings in games. But yeah, we can now actually like look around way more around this place. See all the unfinished bits that you're not supposed to be seeing.
Rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small.
Right, so not much to commentate during this part. Enjoy the cutscene, I guess. That whale just stops there. Right, so here we'll hit the loading trigger just like 2 seconds faster by being clipped outside of the bathysphere. And then after this load screen, guess what we got? A few more cutscenes. Well, actually, just one more.
Just 1 more minute. The spear's coming up now. Johnny, security's banging off.
So yeah, right now it's about like 5 minutes of cutscenes at the start of the run, but it used to be even worse. Now we can actually skip a couple of cutscenes out of this intro sequence. I do love the texts here. Shriek of rage. And probably my favorite, Shout of Frustration. That's a good one. Then we need that radio, and we can finally start actually moving and doing things.
I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive. Now keep on moving. We're gonna have to get you to higher ground. Take a deep breath and step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you twisting in the wind. We're gonna need to draw her out of hiding, but you're gonna have to trust me.
Again, pretty slow at the start here. But yeah, there's actually a skip coming up that was a relatively recent discovery, considering how old this game already is.
Kindly find a crowbar or something. Bloody splicer, seal Johnny in before they... Oh, damn, splicers.
So we gotta kill this guy here. Then get up here. And normally when you pick up this plasmid here, you'd get a cutscene. But what I'm gonna do is hit escape and grab it at the same time, then make a save. And then I'm gonna load that save. There you see the cutscenes pulling me towards it, but if I load that save, I can actually escape from it. But it still really wants me to watch that cutscene, so it keeps pulling me towards it, so I just gotta keep jumping extremely awkwardly. Come on. But yeah, this skip still ends up saving a lot of time. And it actually enables another skip later on in the same split. But yeah, the movement won't stay like this forever. It'll just stay for the first split, basically. Or the first map. The annoying thing is if there's like items underneath you, they'll like slide you backwards.
Who's that? I can control myself. I can.
Oh man. Alright, so here I gotta get into this elevator, which can be pretty annoying. I need this guy here to cooperate a little bit. Push me in. Come on. Well, he be dead. Can I get in now? Can I get in? I don't think I can anymore. Well, that's never happened before. I gotta reload. And it takes me back quite a bit here. Great. Well, I guess we're doing that again. I mean, I'm supposed to be going overestimate, right? That's the plan here. But yeah, this jumping nonsense is relatively annoying to deal with, but I've never actually had that problem there before. I didn't even know that that could happen. Jumping up here again. Let's make a quick save this time. Might be a good idea. There we go. Right then.
I've got a family. I need to get them out of here. But the splicers have cut me off from them. If you
Might still actually be faster than watching that cutscene that I skip with that nonsense.
the unluckiest man in the world right now.
We'll see. We'll see where this run goes.
My wife and child
I know it's already going places.
Go to Neptune's bounty. Find my family, please. You all right, Boyle? First time plasma's a real kick from a mule. But there's nothing like a fistful of lightning now, is there?
Alright, so because we're still in this weird ass slidey state,
I'll do what I want. It's my ass.
this cutscene won't actually lock us in properly, and we can again do the save and reload, and that'll let us actually move again.
Careful now. Would you kindly lower that weapon?
And normally it's supposed to lock your weapons away for this part, but because of that reload, it still has the ability, or leaves you with the ability to actually still equip your weapons. So you can pretty much skip this cutscene as soon as you get down here. Because you're supposed to wait here and watch that cutscene happen outside the window there. But with the weapon, you can just break that door.
The genetic material that keeps the wheels of Rapture turning. Everybody
Ah.
everybody needs it. Spot a splicer in the water. Hit him with the electrical.
Right, so hopefully I'll get out of this map without any more problems. And yeah, this part probably looks awkward as hell, but it'll change right about here.
There's another way to get there. Head to medical. What are you waiting?
Actually, I am out of Electro Bolt. Another thing that I hadn't foreseen. Okay, there we go. Cool. Man, running into so many things. Already a perfect run. Alright, so here you can actually just zap the door, and it won't trigger a cutscene that normally would trigger when you try to enter it. I don't know why it works there. It doesn't really work in any other places. It's weird. Alright, so now we're in medical. Here we're gonna hack the security bot. Get through. The puzzle is always the same if you restart your game between like attempts. Every time you go through that spot and you don't reset, it'll actually next time be a different solution to it. Alright, at least I'm getting a bunch of items here. Right, so now we need the fire plasmid to melt away the ice to get to the telekinesis plasmid. And telekinesis is actually the plasmid that pretty much breaks the game. Also, that splicer there throwing that table is pretty important. You'll see in just a second. Right. So because this table was thrown at me by an enemy, it has some special properties when I'm holding it. It'll actually have collision with me. Collision is pretty janky in this game because the physics engine is running at like 30 FPS, while the game is running at 60. So it's partially the reason why weird things happen, but things are weird anyway. So right now I'm gonna skip this Vita chamber activation by hopefully flying here with the table. And then optimally like that. Blow that up instantly. Ah, didn't get that one. If you kill the bot, the doors will instantly open. Alright, so here's another little skip.
What can I do with this one, Aphrodite? She won't stay still!
Oh damn, I don't know what happened there. If you shoot it and aim it properly and shoot it at the right time, you can interrupt this cutscene and the doors will just open and you can then fight him.
To symmetrical! Enough! What's this, goddess? An intruder! He is ugly! 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 Ugly!
It's not that big of a deal if you miss that, but still, it's a good 20-second result. And then we actually death abuse out of here. I'm not just lighting myself on fire for fun, even though it is pretty fun in real life as well. And we're gonna do it again, just because it's too much fun. Right. And now we're right back where we started. These death warps just let us get back way, way faster. Right, so next split doesn't have too many crazy things in it. There's another death warp and some nice strats, but no really big skips.
Now you had the pleasure of Andrew Ryan's company.
But then after this, all of the areas will have like really big skips in them.
Nobody knows exactly what happened. Maybe he went mad. Maybe the power got to him. Maybe he just decided he didn't like people. Whichever way you slice it, good men died. My family's in a submarine hidden in the foundation of Fontaine Fisheries.
So here you can just grab a flying missile, because why not?
You can blame a lady who craves, but on one day the gentlemen start calling.
Alright, so one thing that I'll start doing is diary skipping, which is whenever a radio message plays, I'm gonna play a diary file over it. That'll skip the radio message. And whenever there is something that's dialogue dependent, it basically just advances it. Depends on like case by case basis. Sometimes there's a weird trigger in the middle of a dialogue and you actually have to listen to it up to that point. For example, here I have to listen to this next bit of dialogue up until that point. Otherwise the next bit won't trigger.
Your conduct felt. Your body somehow to keep you alive. Now, go get the camera and take a snapshot.
And now I can skip the rest to unlock the door just a tiny bit faster.
Man's jumping at ghosts. Fontaine's dead, and everybody knows it. In the ground for months, and half the place still jumping at his shadow. Christ, even Ryan. You never mind all that. Got work to do.
Grabbing a bunch of crap along the way. None of it I really need, but I just want to have as many bullets and stuff as I possibly can. Just why not? It's never a bad thing. So I'll just pick up anything that's on my way and doesn't waste time to pick up. But yeah, pretty soon here I'll do another death warp, so I don't wanna heal myself up, even though I might get relatively close to dying. Hopefully I just don't actually die. That can be a thing that happens sometimes. It's essentially how the Vita chambers work is that they have an area from which they'll like grab you into that Vita chamber. Let me just make a quick save. If I die, I don't have to do shit ton again. So I'm quite low on HP for this. There we go. Dying really fast is good. Bang on his door, do some more damage here.
Didn't get himself out.
Doesn't really matter which file I take. Although if you try to skip it with another radio message, sometimes it works, but sometimes other weird things happen, so you wanna avoid that.
If that's his price, you're gonna have to pay it. But can't very well take your plasmas away now, can he?
I could have skipped this line as well, but I'm not sure if it makes a difference or not. I think it does a little bit, but I don't know.
But you might want to cogitate on this. Ocean water is colder than a witch's.
And if you just wait there in that position until you hear him scream, he'll always be in about the same spot.
You can't quit. Fontaine will find you. Hey, fuck Fontaine.
You got it!
You don't fuck
Should be smooth sailing from here. I'll meet you up ahead.
Right, so this next area is pretty short on its own anyway, but even then we're like skipping a cutscene that it would normally force you to watch here. Also, old people are scary. Oh, old people. Right, so here, as I hit that lever, a cutscene will begin. But if I do that, I'll hit it and get out of there instantly, and that way I don't have to watch the cutscene. Instead, we can go in here and fuck up this guy's boat. So why not? Okay, maybe it's more of a submarine, but whatever. And then these doors won't let me through until I listen to all the radio messages playing, so I can just skip them with a diary message, so I can go through instantly. And next up is Arcadia, which also has a really big skip in it. Here you'd like go on a little bit and then these trees would get tainted and you'd have to save the trees and shit. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna skip all of that by just doing a little bit of climbing a little bit here. First though, we gotta fulfill our paparazzi needs and take some photos. The reason for this being that you get some abilities if you take pictures of specific splicers. So from these guys you get an ability called Sports Boost, which, as you might be able to determine, gives you more speed and related things to that. So it's a good ability to have. Mostly it makes the skips easier later on. So it's pretty good for that reason. Like the movement speed increase isn't that notable, but you can definitely tell the difference if you like load a save without it and load into a save with it. So I'll just do this a little bit safe. You could avoid killing those guys, but then they can blow this pallet up, and I don't want that to happen, because I need it for this skip. So basically there's triggers all up the ass on the right here. And I need to not look to the right, otherwise I'll trigger the trigger, and I need to jump over the trigger. This is poorly placed. And to do that I need to get up on this tree, which is kind of funky. That should be it. Cool. Just another quick save. And there we go. And you hit that trigger and the doors close and you basically just like have to do a bunch more crap in Arcadia, but you skip all of that. Then we're pretty much gonna skip all of Fort Frolic as well, even though this is probably my favorite place in the game casually. The skip is just too good.
You're almost there. The Spirit Orion is up on ahead.
However, the ingredients for this skip are a suitcase,
An old Betty named Langford. An okay sort, but not above doing a dirty job for $1.
trash can,
She's still kicking around. I'm sure she's gonna want to save
and
her
that's it.
trees.
We're gonna hit a trigger here. Oh no, the sub goes down, we're all fucked. But we do some nice parkouring here.
Cohen's an artist, says some. He's a Section 8, says I.
Maybe. Let's see.
Ryan's handed the keys to Fort Frolic over to a guy named Sander Cohen. Cohen's an artist, says some. He's a Section 8, says I. I've seen all kinds of cutthroats, freaks,
Just make saves everywhere. Seems like a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. Right. So now we're on the invisible walls around here. And actually, even though the submarine left here, the trigger to hit the lever is still here. If I can find it, there we go. And we're out of there. Normally we'd have to go find Sander Cohen and do a bunch of crap for him, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, obviously it's faster to skip it than do all of that shit. And I buy some crossbow bolts there just in case. I'll probably use them actually. It's usually how I do it. Blow these guys up so they don't follow me.
Now would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch? It's time to finish this.
Get some more grenade launcher ammo, because that's pretty useful here.
I see Cohen's lost his touch. If you knew him well.
Then we need that diary message to progress. Ah. There we go. Some more grenades. And shooting the splicers with other splicer corpses is a pretty good idea to kill them relatively fast. Usually it one-shots on easy. Pretty good damage dealing method in other difficulties as well. Oh damn. That splicer ate one of the shots. It's kind of unfortunate. Just took a bit of extra time, that's okay. At this point. Killed that big daddy already. So we're gonna need the parts out of him. Because we're gonna be making a bomb here. There's also a pretty big skip here.
The basic casing is ready. One.
Skip that.
Simon, I know medical pavilion is your man. But you might want to cut
Then we can start picking up crap from all the big daddies. Get in here. And I only use the hack there because using the auto hack is actually faster than entering the code. Just because how the code entering system works. Also, why did I heal there? I'm supposed to die now. And then there was a big daddy over this way, which is already dead. And obviously we'll want to death abuse out of here as well.
You don't know what it's like.
And there we go. Then just head back the way the bomb was and pick up some more stuff along the way. Come on. And this. Any damage here is fine as long as I don't die prematurely. Because I want to die again, obviously. Right, so now to the part where we actually skip a pretty big section. You'd have to do this kind of auto-scrollery, well, kind of defending this one location for a little bit out of all the splicers coming in. But you can go to where you need to enter the bomb anyway, through here. Maybe, if you do the jump correctly. There we go. Also, again, I think I accidentally healed right before this. Whatever. Should still die pretty fast. Again, using other corpses to destroy the enemies is a really good idea, so that's what I'm doing. And again, diary skipping this. And in this split again we have a actually quite small skip. And this is where the famous cutscene happens, I guess. I don't even know if it's actually famous.
What? Ryan's at the core to self-destruct.
So we climb up here.
Different than what you did. He's got a mind to take down the whole damn
Normally you'd have to just stand there and some other stuff would happen and then you'd be able to go through here. But that saves like a bunch of time. Just sitting around there doing nothing. And cutscene.
Has overcome my final defense, and now he's come to murder me. In the end, what separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys. You think you have memories? A farm. A family.
Oh yeah, spoilers by the way.
A crash. And then this place. Was there really a family? Did that airplane crash? Or was it hijacked? Forced down. Forced down by something less than a man. Something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase spoken by their kindly master. Was a man sent to kill, or a slave? A man chooses. A slave obeys. Come here. Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
But yeah, nothing really to talk about during the cutscene. It's kind of a slow part in the middle, a little bit. It's like a slow start and then gets pretty interesting, and then we have this cutscene.
Sit, would you kindly? Stand.
Which there actually now is a skip for, but it's quite hard, so I'm not doing it here.
A man chooses. A slave obeys.
And it doesn't like, it doesn't just flat out skip the cutscene, it only saves about 30 seconds. So you end up doing other stuff during the cutscene.
Kill. A man chooses.
Kinda hate the subtitles here because they're like so wide. They're like already saying everything that happens in the next minute. It's kind of annoying when I first played it. I had them on.
Hurry now! Grab Ryan's genetic key! Now would you kindly put it in that goddamn machine?
Do these, do some diary skips, and then continue to the next area. So the big secret's out. Atlas was actually Zelda all the time. Here again we're slowed down a little bit at the start. Then we can start doing things freely again.
Welcome to the city where you were born. You are angry at Fontaine, yes? Now you know the truth. You are his tool, brought back to Rapture to save him.
Skip these. Steal some candy. 'Cause why not? And jump on her head. We gotta wait for this little sister to start leading us. Takes about 5 more seconds. There we go.
I realise you're a posh sort of geezer, and frankly, I don't give a toss if you piss or go fishing. But once Rapture starts leaking, the old girl's never gonna stop. And then I'll be sure to tell Ryan he's got you to thank.
Who's he? He's here to help us.
And then we can do stuff again. Cool.
Now you've got hooked up with Tannenbaum, huh, kid? She's a regular mother goose.
So the next trick is actually kind of weird. We're gonna queue up this door. But like I said previously, if you have a radio message playing, you won't go through that door. So what I can do is just manually play a radio message and then trigger all sorts of lines of radio messages. So it actually never takes me through that door until I want to. So just play that one. And then we can do our business here, and when we're done we can warp out of here, which is quite handy and saves like, I don't know, 2 minutes of backtracking or so. It's a bunch of time. Maybe not 2 minutes, maybe more like a minute and a half. Nevertheless, a bunch of time. So there I had to play that diary file to progress the quest, but I gotta skip it with a radio message, otherwise it would warp me out. This is 5, 7, 4, 4. So now we're getting these potions to get rid of Fontaine's power over us. And once that message by Tannenbaum starts playing, I can skip it and that potion will become a thing I can pick up. And as I skip it, it'll activate the door that I activated way back. We need another dose of that. Lot 192. And it can be found where the arrow is basically pointing us to. And yeah, I actually want to take damage here. So I'm actually gonna launch some nades and hopefully deal some damage to myself with them. It's nice. So now once I get this, I wanna die. Sometimes this area is kinda funny to try and die. Eventually it always works. Spam flames and try to die.
save one life that saves the world entire. I made a place for the children, but it's you who are responsible. Will you stop here, or will you deliver them from this terrible people?
Once you are free of Fontaine's control,
And then there's just a tiny little skip here. You can skip taking the elevator down, which is slow as hell, and just jump in between here. Just barely survived that, goddamn. I might not. Hopefully I'll make it out through these guys. Kinda did. I'm not sure how this is gonna pan out though. Hopefully I'm not gonna get fucked here. We'll see, we'll see. Should be fine. So this split basically has the, I'd say, the hardest skip in the game. You have to do a pretty precise jump to avoid, again, just a bunch of triggers are messing around there, and you just gotta jump towards them the right way.
what is this you wait for? Go and get this idiot!
So, fire. The only problem here is that these guys can kill me. I don't like that. Yeah. That's a problem. Oh yeah, I guess swapping back here isn't that big of a deal here. So whatever. Right. Shouldn't do anything about the skip here, right? I hope.
Last chance, kid. You
Nice. I got it first try. And then this guy just stands here like a fool. So basically what's supposed to happen is that you go to that doorway and the triggers there stop you and then force you to look at that cutscene there, which is Atlas dropping that pillar down there and breaking the door. And then you need to go and all around that area and get this Big Daddy suit.
But you must protect them.
But if you time your jump really nicely there, you'll actually be able to enter the door with him. And this part can be kind of annoying because these little sisters, they can like just crawl through this entire thing. You can kind of manipulate them, but sometimes it seems like they just want to fuck you run over or whatever. Like right now. She seemed to be running at first, but now she's crawling here. Usually it's like the only thing that really manipulates them is the way you move at the first area. Thought I had it figured out, but I don't, so yeah. And she's still walking. Damn. Damn. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. It's gonna take so much time now. Okay, now she's running at least.